Toyota's former CEO has just admitted something that would have been unthinkable 5 years ago. Koji Sato, the man who ran Toyota until earlier this year, says the Japanese auto industry will not survive unless every Japanese car maker starts working together. Not competes harder, not builds better cars, just survive. That's the word he used. When the man who ran, as of until a few months ago, the world's biggest car maker starts talking about survival, you need to pay attention because this tells you exactly how far ahead China it really is. And, when I first started this channel, a lot of people hated me. They wrote a lot of stuff about me on Reddit and said, oh, this guy is insane. The Chinese cars aren't even good. What's he even talking about? This is nonsensical. The Japanese have nothing to fear. Well, it's funny how within the space of 5 years, the man running Toyota seems to agree. And here's what's happened. Sato was replaced as Toyota's CEO earlier this year by Kenta Kon, the company's former chief financial officer. Now, why did they replace the CEO with a financial officer? Yeah. Sato didn't disappear, though. He stayed on as Toyota's on the board and became the company's first ever chief industry officer and took over as the head of JAMA. This is really important here. He took over as the chief of the Japan Automobile Manufacturers Association. In an interview with Automotive News, he laid out what he sees as the single most important issue facing Japan's car industry. They aren't competitive internationally, or at least that's going to be a problem very soon. He refused to name China directly, but, well, he didn't need to. Everyone knew who he was talking about. And the numbers explain why he's saying this. In May, Chinese automakers collectively outsold Japanese brands in Europe for the first time in history. Here in Australia, to the end of May, China was the number one source of new cars, with more than 144,000 vehicles, pushing Japan into second place for the first time ever at 117,000. That's a big gap, and that gap is growing now in favor of China. Think about that. Japan, the country that dominated the Australian car market for 50 years, has been knocked off pretty quickly by China. Chinese brands are also pushing hard into Asia and developing markets around the world. The only major market keeping them out, banning them, is the United States, and that's only because of tariffs. So what's Sato's plan? On the Electric Viking website, I'll put a link in the description below. We have more articles about electric cars and battery technology than any other website that I'm aware of in the world. So check that out. Link is in the description. And there you'll find our videos and analysis and articles about everything going on in the EV world. Standardization. Just make everything copies of themselves. I guess you could say rebadge. He wants Japan's automaker to strategically create areas of cooperation on the parts that customers never see, so they can pour their money into technology that actually matters, like advanced driver assistance, faster charging batteries, and software. For a long time, they've been pouring money into dumb stuff, like making their engines 0.05% more efficient, or maybe 1% more efficient, but you see my point. I mean, the return on investment was really bad. Japanese suppliers currently make around 70,000 different harness variants. 70,000 different harness variants. That's crazy. That makes automation almost impossible. Sato reckons standardizing essential components like harnesses, steel grades, and resin specifications could improve productivity tenfold, 10 times. That's not a small efficiency gain. That's an admission that the current system is broken. And you can really see why Tesla only has two models, Model 3 and the Model Y, because of that exact reason. They basically have two harnesses instead of thousands of them. This is exactly what China has already figured out as well. Chinese EV makers share suppliers. They share battery makers. I mean, look, Cable and BYD have about 60% of the battery market just by themselves. They share software platforms, and they iterate at a speed that leaves legacy manufacturers looking like they're standing still. In many cases, not always, but in many cases they do. I've got to say though, to be fair, sometimes they do it so fast that they do have problems. They just want to get that product out to the market as soon as possible, and they start selling a vehicle that can have some pretty serious bugs. Japan, though, is now trying to copy the playbook of the country it's losing to. But here's the problem, and it's a big one. Sato says it might take a year or two just to work out the standard specifications. And even then, those standards can't roll out until the next generation of vehicle launches. So realistically, you're looking at the early 2030s before this makes any real difference. If that, how far ahead will BYD, Geely, and the rest of these Chinese manufacturers be by 2030? That's the question that nobody in Tokyo wants to answer. Now, the rest of the industry does seem to be on board. That's a good thing. Nissan CEO Ivan Espinosa backs this idea, as you would if you're Nissan, you've got no other choice, talking about a common JAMA or JAMA standard with certified suppliers that everyone can use freely. And beyond parts, JAMA is looking at 6 other areas of cooperation, including logistics, securing raw materials, circular recycling, recruiting talent, rebuilding Japan's infrastructure for autonomous vehicles, and simplifying Japan's car taxes. Probably meaning, give us some tax breaks, otherwise we're dead. Some of them, anyway. Listen, Toyota already owns Daihatsu and Lexus. It holds stakes in Subaru, Mazda, and Suzuki, and Nissan owns around 27% of Mitsubishi and is reportedly close to a cooperation deal with Honda. So the pieces are already partly connected. Here's my take. This is the right move. This is actually a good decision. It's probably 5 years too late, but it is a good move. When Japan's most powerful car executive says the industry won't survive without banding together, that's not strategy, that's triage. China didn't just build cheaper cars, it built a faster system. System maybe sometimes is too fast, but it's fast and it's working pretty well. And Japan is, well, it's now openly admitting that. Whether they can close the gap before the next generation of Chinese EVs lands, that's the trillion-dollar question. Let me know what you think in the comments, because I'm intrigued to know your thoughts on Japan and their auto industry. What do you think it will look like in 2035? Thinking about getting solar, a home battery, or an EV charger? Check out Australia's best free comparison tool, because it could save you a lot of money, guys. Click on the link below in the description and you can see how much you can save. Alternatively, give Resync a call. They are the guys who installed my battery and my home solar. I'll put a link to them as well in the description. Need expert advice on what car to buy, what solar system to get, what home battery to get, or potentially for your business? You can get, guys, a one-on-one consultation directly with me, 60 minutes of tailored guidance. This might help you avoid making a huge mistake spending money when you shouldn't, or potentially save you a massive amount of money. Click the link in the description below because I can assist you, and why not? The link is in the description.